And welcome back to I Can't Believe This Is a Podcast. It's been a very long time, and not all of us are present right now.
Just like all the major corporations, we had to do a couple layoffs.
A couple, yeah. Rojo and I are all that's left. That's what I would say if we were like Amazon. No, it's people got projects, they got other things to do. Shimik's not available right now. Soyboy's not available right now. Dev's not available right now. But myself, Jules, and Rojo sitting opposite me.
Hello.
We're here. So, yeah. Welcome new subscribers from Shimik's Catherine video. Normally, I think in a normal Sane Champ world, I Can't Believe This Is a Podcast is a podcast about video game news and development that runs about twice a month. But we don't live in that universe.
No, we live in the universe where human things happen. People have plans and, unforeseen roadblocks to, get four people all together at the same time on a semi-regular basis. Jules, do you wanna let the listeners know about what the plan is for the upcoming episodes?
Yeah, I guess we can start with that. So, just to, clear the air on this episode, there's only two of us. Usually we do at least three people, but I figured why not get the two best people for the job, am I right? So the way we're thinking about doing this is typically we would have 2 episodes a month. But like Rojo mentioned, there's a lot of stuff going on, whether it's school for some people, work for others, personal projects for everyone, frankly. We're thinking of cutting down to once a month, at least until, if I had to say, sometime this summer. So really, I'm saying like an episode this April, like another episode this April, maybe. An episode in May, episode in June, episode in July, and then maybe around July, August, we'll kind of figure out if we can go back to a bi-monthly schedule. Same topics, same idea. Talk about video game stuff, whether it's news, development on Lentinula, which is our game that we're working on, or several side projects, or even just talking about game deving in general, kind of things that things that really grind our gears. We tend to complain a lot on this show. Yeah, same idea, just a little less frequent for now. I think that's where we're gonna go. Because as you can see, I mean, we got hit pretty hard.
Yeah,
by life. Yeah.
But in order to start off on a lighter note, can I talk about what we just witnessed?
Jesus,
not 5 minutes ago. So I was scrolling through, the typical video game news outlets, GameSpots, Kotaku, mind you, all those main players, IGN, and on GameSpot there was a news article for the Peppa Pig game, Peppa Pig World Adventures. I've never played any of the Peppa Pig games, but the article itself, the title, definitely drew my eye. It says Peppa Pig World Adventures. Devs explain why they left the Queen in the game. And then there was a video of what would you say, Jules? Like a 30-year-old, like he was.
It's some streamer and he's playing it, and like it's a Peppa Pig game. Unless you're a fucking Peppa proclaimer, like you're playing this for the laughs, right? Except the game apparently goes really hard because one moment Peppa and family are splashing around in mud puddles around Buckingham Palace with the Queen. And then it immediately fades to black and says,
Her Majesty,
rest in peace.
It says age Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II, and then it's a picture of the Peppa Pig version of the Queen jumping in a mud puddle with Peppa, and then it goes 1926 to 2022 in memoriam. In the middle of the game.
In the middle, that's the part that gets me, at least, is that it's in the middle. It's not like in the credits. It's not like, it's immediately after that scene.
No, it fades to that black in that scene, and then it loads into the fucking next level.
Maybe they were using it to mask loading times. That's really clever of them. Next gen tactic, when you're loading the next level, you just have an in memoriam to the Queen.
Yep.
Take notes, Naughty Dog.
Yeah, so yeah, guys, go check out Peppa Pig World Adventures for that nice laugh. Rest in Pigatory, Her Majesty.
Yeah. I wonder what kind of message they're gonna have for the Dalai Lama.
Oh God.
You right about that, Rojo?
Yes, I have.
I don't even.
I don't even know. What's worse is that I've seen people try to justify it. I'm like, there's no good. Anyway,
we need more love around this world. There's too much hate. There's too much violence and spite. Quick, suck my tongue. Like, bro, what the fuck? No. Don't do that. Don't defend it. None of that.
Dalai Lama's
reprehensible
suck
behavior.
My tongue comment was quote unquote innocent. Yeah.
I went to northern India and all I got was my tongue sucked, put that on a t-shirt. By the Dalai Lama, of course. If you don't know what we're talking about, audience, feel free to just type in Dalai Lama breaking news and then narrow your search history to April of 2023. So, to kind of kick off, we have a short list of topics today, just because, getting back in the swing of things. But Shimik wanted to say something. He's not here to say it, so he wrote it out.
Is he also resting in Pigatory?
He's resting in Pigatory as we speak, and I'm about to read his Peppa Pig words, if I can find it. All right, here we go. And this especially goes out to all of our recent subscribers. Here we go. This is Shimik talking. Hey yo, it's Chim Butterballs. Verbatim, by the way. Sorry I couldn't show up. Won't make it a habit. I had a flick that I've been working on for a solid 9 months, on and off again. It's out now, and boy, what a feeling. I could fly through the clouds, sing in the rain, do just about any one thing I want. And I think that the thing is to coop myself in my room for another 9 months and make some other project. 9 months? That's how long it takes to have a kid. Is this my brainchild? It's not even mine, it's basically Sega and Atlas's. Am I a brain cuck? Can't have anything in Detroit, swear to God, on God, for real, laughing emoji, crying emoji. Anyways, hope you're having a good podcast and an even better season finale. Sayonara. Season finale is something we had discussed before. We're not the seasons are, before we talk a little bit about the video, I should just mention it. I should have said this earlier. In terms of how we're, doing the next 5 or so episodes, seasons are kind of arbitrary points where we're like, we just really want to change the style of all of the key art on the channel. That's pretty much what the definition of a season is.
An excuse to be to put out our new doodles.
It's 100% an excuse for new art. Yeah. Pretty much. Yeah. So I mean, he's not here, but Rojo, you've seen the video.
Yes,
right?
I have. And for people who, like me, have not played the game, but have played other Atlas games, I think you'd find it very interesting. Very fun.
Yeah.
The story of Atlas games are very dense, but the way Chimik did it, it's very digestible. It's very if you did not know what was going on, you got it, and it's pretty captivating. I've been waiting for this for a while now, since he first announced it maybe 9 months ago. He's
been working on it before then. The progress on this specific iteration of the video.
Well, I think I've known about it since the first time I met him in person.
I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah. I mean, we all had ideas for projects that we were gonna do. And that Catherine video was one of the big ones. But yeah, I agree. I think it's really digestible. I mean, you're taking Atlas.
Multi-day games, hour-wise.
Yeah. I just remembered. I didn't know this before. Rojo, tell me if you knew this. Catherine takes place in space?
Does it?
Yeah, it's like an American space colony. I forget what it's called, New Brooklyn or something.
Is it?
Someone fact check me on this, but that definitely exists. Whether the game takes place in space or not, the sort of premise of where society is during the events of Catherine, there's space colonies. which is so.
It's a Catherine game. I guess it makes. I mean, it's an Atlas game. I guess it makes sense.
It turns out that Persona 5 takes place in like New Africa. We just didn't know it.
Except like all the subway systems are very much Japanese. The landmarks are very much in not Tokyo. I think Kyoto based. I don't remember. I
one of the two capitals. Yeah.
one of those two. I said in the previous episode of this podcast. I finished the game. Honestly, just to say that I finished the game, and then it has just like. No, Chimik knows this. Chimik knows this, that I finished the game.
Fair enough.
I finished the game, and it's like, I guess I wouldn't say it's a badge of honor, but like it is like an accomplishment to be able to sit through and finish a game of that length and like finally say I've done it. But like certain things, like where it took place, it's in Japan. I can tell you that.
Very good. I mean, like, you can't, for a first playthrough at least, you can't remember every detail, right?
Yeah. Especially,
like, I think it's reasonable to not ask someone to remember everything about a game that takes you 100 hours minimum.
Also, you are right. It is in the space quality of Neo Brooklyn.
What the hell, man? That something about that is like the kind of stuff that Yoko Taro gets away with too, with his character designs especially. It's like it didn't have to be like that, but because it's like that, it's just better. Okay, it's so left field. But going back to the video, yeah, I think to take something that's pretty thematically digestible, but in terms of how it's delivered, you know, complex, multi-layered, right? Allegorical even, and sort of narrow it down into a 40-minute video that doesn't try to do everything, because you try to do everything, you end up doing nothing, right?
Yeah.
And Shimik focused on a really specific achievement called the everyday hero, and I believe the criteria is talking to everyone, making sure everyone stays alive. Yeah, and he did it in a narrative format. I told this to them as well. I likened it to the difference between like full fat history textbooks and narrative history textbooks. And like the difference is that narrative history textbooks might be less, let's say, organized in terms of like, you know, looking at the table of contents and then flipping immediately to whatever you want. But what they lack in sort of indexing, they make up for in continuity. Like there's a story there, and you follow the story, and then as you read through the whole thing, because you do have to read the whole thing if it's narrative, you see how previous things shape future things, and how future things kind of echo previous things, and yada yada, and like things kind of click together a bit better. And him implementing that sort of narrative focus onto something that would, in any other case, just be a achievement or a trophy that you unlock, I think is unique. And obviously unique in addition to him, you know, motion capturing and rigging the whole thing, which is part of the reason why it took so long, right? Well, he's a decent writer. That's not the part that took forever.
I also want to say, like, I salute him in his not well his body acting, I guess, because most of the conversations that take place in Catherine are either cutscenes or they're, I believe, I don't know if they're, I would say they're like Persona style, where it's like a little cutout and like,
oh, like the character dialogue cards where they have like a lower third and a portrait.
Yeah, but it's
like Hades.
But I think at most it's like a one scene, one angle, and everybody talks. But like
there's animation. It's not, it's characterful. But I think, again, I haven't played it personally, but there's more nuance to be had when you fully motion capture.
Yeah.
Right. Now, there's some limitations with the motion capture that Shimik was using, but I think within the confines of, what was he doing, 24 frames a second? I think he got what he wanted to get across.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and also like he was adding camera cuts and I believe camera movement in certain scenes.
Yeah.
And
yeah, like the virtual dollies like all set up.
Yeah, so like props to him for it being a 9-month project, because I could have seen that taking a lot longer.
Yeah.
and
Until,
it probably could have.
and this is, I mean,
As in, like,
again,
he
part
could,
of the reason.
it could have like been procrastinating, like, hey, like this is taking way too long. I really just don't want to do this anymore. But like, he definitely pushed through.
I think we kind of we talked about our projects with each other, just Shimek and I, that's definitely part of it. But a huge part of it was also like, you know, the same reason why only two, like
only two of us are here.
Is here. Yeah, is just, you know, school and
Stuff
other
happens.
shit. So if he was in my situation where like I just graduated, and I'm very fortunate to have a period of unemployment where I'm not dying, but only a period that ends soon.
No, guys, trust me.
I'm sure he would have.
I'm not on the street.
I'm not some. Not yet. No, but if he had, you know, like just a period, like a blank slate of, I don't know.
Oh, I'm sure he would.
A couple of months, he would have finished it.
Yeah.
Like easily. So it's really commendable, and I do want to give him props for this. I give him props for this in person. I'll give him props for this behind his back too. How do you like that, Shim? He pushed through and he got it done.
Yeah.
On top of, you know, school, internship, you know,
yeah, creative
relationship stuff, family stuff, et cetera, et cetera.
Creative projects, like, you just need time, and you just need to sit down and do it. And doing it in the middle of like you said, school, work, just personal things in general. Like, life happens outside of that little bubble where you're doing your creative things, and like being able to push all that aside for like a couple hours in a day, and like just focusing on making this labor of love, honestly, because the way he talks about that game, he loves that game.
We give him so much shit for it too, but I mean, that's part of the reason why our podcast is so well balanced out, because he's like our de facto
Atlas,
Capcom and Atlas and, like, you know, Square Enix guy, so it works out.
Yeah. Well,
it's funny because if you were here in person, we'd just be shitting on.
Oh, 100%. I'd be like, yo, I waited 9 months for this.
In memoriam, rest
in memoriam, rest in peace, His Majesty the Queen Shim.
The Catherine video from 20. Goddamn, I don't know, 2020 to 2023.
Yeah. But you mentioned Capcom and Labor of Love, which is usually not usually not in the same sentence.
Wait. Oh yeah, until Resident Evil 2 remake, which was what, 2019.
Yes,
they've had 4 straight years of fire.
Yes, they are on the remake hype train. Because Resident Evil 4, for those who have not played it, is, I would say, the de facto, this is how you make a remake.
I already said this last episode, but Dead Space remake would like to have a word with you. It's not that one's better or worse than the other. They're both very good. But Resident Evil 4 definitely has a bigger kind of legacy.
Yeah. I think Resident Evil 4 remake had a lot more to lose than Dead Space remake.
I agree. Yes.
Because I feel like with the Resident Evil games, they stand alone, even though they're part of a series. The series is so long and non-continuous that like it is a Resident Evil game, or you don't need to know the entirety of the Resident Evil lore, which is, you can go look up those timelines. There's like 5-hour long YouTube videos that somebody has definitely played way too many of them and read way too much upon. But yeah, because the de facto best Resident Evil is Resident Evil 4, and I think that the way that they remade this, they played Resident Evil 4 and they're like, okay, we need to keep everything that everybody loves about this game and then make it better in small, nuanced ways. Like, you've played it before, right?
I've never played the original. The remake is the first time I've ever bought a Resident Evil game, let alone played one.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So out of water here.
Do you know the changes that they made? Not voice acting wise, but like script wise.
Yeah, well, they made them as far back as the Resident Evil 4 VR version, which was like Oculus Quest exclusive or whatever.
Yeah.
Like they took out Leon flirting with Hunnigan. I see the president has equipped his daughter with ballistics, etc., etc. And so those are gone here, but I mean, this has a better excuse because they remade the damn thing.
Yeah.
They took them out of the VR version because of insert reason here, right? Yeah. But it's justified here, I would say.
Yeah.
Because I mean, as characterful and maybe charming as those lines were back in the day,
they're a little cringe now. I'm not gonna lie.
It's not even like it's just questionable enough to some people that it's not worth it for Capcom.
Well,
I personally wouldn't mind, but I absolutely can respect other people who would mind, right? So there's no reason to have those lines in there. Just take them out.
But certain lines, like where did they all go? Bingo, like that. Those lines,
those are still there.
But like Leon Kennedy being like, women, am I right? Like sort of thing.
That's what I call a Resident Evil 4.
I think
it's something Leon would say.
Well, I think it's the scene where him and Ada Wong are on the boat, and Ada like zip lines away, and then he just goes, women. And I every single time I'm like, dude, you're about to die. Like you're in a life and death situation. You just lost the president's daughter. Like this is not the time.
Oh yeah, I mean now it's replaced with what does he say? Story of my life.
Yeah.
he's just as like dour and smarmy as he was. He's a little more dour in the remake than he was in the original.
Yeah.
The original, I mean, come on, no thanks, bro. Like, too good. And you can buy both still. That's the good thing.
Yeah, it's not a Warcraft. It's not a GTA San Andreas and 3 Definitive Edition where they completely remove the other games off of the storefront, which that
would suck.
That is always the wrong thing to do.
Yeah.
Games should exist in not an archival state, but just a state to be able to compare and contrast it, especially if there's some remake for it. Because some
games should exist on my Steam Deck.
They should be. I was going to say something, but I don't want to get blurted out.
Okay.
They should be on my stream.
Oh yeah, low tier god.
But
100%.
This is such a dumb thing to be, thankful for. But I'm very thankful that they had Leon learn Spanish for a secret mission that he was going to Spain for. Because in the old game, he was like he was definitely treating like these people were fucking like
less than
Neanderthals. They're like, oh my god, they can read.
Yeah, it's so awful.
And I'm like, Leon, you're going to Spain. You're not going to the. It's like God, like you're not going to like another planet. You're not going to like a remote village in the middle of the Amazon rainforest. Like you're going to Spain.
Oh man, it's someone made the meme where it's like a gross reduction of the original game, where it's like president's secret agent goes to remote village to save president's daughter, interrogates locals in a language they don't understand, proceeds to kill all, eats all their eggs,
throws all the eggs at them.
Now, don't. I didn't tell you this, audience, but if you get the golden egg and don't trade it into the merchant for that one quest, if you keep it all the way up until the Ramon boss fight and you throw it at him, it pretty much one-shots him. Just so you know.
GG.
Yeah, good.
You got the whole crowd laughing, bro.
Well, no, it's not a meme. It genuinely.
I know.
Look, if I thought it was funny, I would have just like I made a fart noise or something. I don't know. so out of fuel on this one.
Nobody's gonna be able to
tell me.
No.
You can't do soundboard effects.
Audience, I just sad horn Jules. So if insert hey editor Jules, add a sad horn.
Yeah, fuck you. This is like I've been watching a lot of Joe Rogan recently.
Oh God. Okay. Yeah.
Just take that however you will, but
I'm taking it in stride.
references.
Yeah.
It's like like, hey Jamie. I'm just imagining Jamie being like this fucking understair goblin, like hunched over 5 laptops, like yes sir, yes.
Hey Jamie, how many nuclear fission reactors are close by? Like, let's look that up.
It's Jamie, without even looking it up, says 25.
25. I think the nearest one is in New Hampton.
Here's the code. Anyway, Jamie is a nuclear physicist.
Yeah, but recommendation, I would definitely go buy it. I haven't bought it, but that's because I'm poor. No, I just...
Well, that can be part of it. I mean, you know.
I just have so many games that I'm playing. I want to dedicate the time, the right time to it. And also another game is coming out this month, which I'm a little bit more anticipating because it's not a remake. It's a sequel.
It's a new game. Oh my God, a rarity.
It's a Jedi Fallen Survivor, which Respawn, right?
Yeah, Respawn.
Yeah, so it's the last game in EA's exclusive deal with LucasArts or Disney at this point, with the Star Wars license. Hopefully this game turns out as good as the first one, and hopefully if they do make a third game, Respawn stays on and they don't try to switch developers, because we see how well that's gone in the past with sequels made by...
Well, how about Dead Island 2? Well, and we'll get to that in a second, but
you're jumping the gun.
Changed hands. Yeah, that changed hands several times. We'll get to that soon. But yeah, Jedi Survivor, first one being Jedi Fallen Order. Yeah. I think actually, was it in terms of the EA exclusive license? I think that's already lifted because Quantic Dream is making a Star Wars game.
Well, they're making games, right? But this was the last one that was developed under that license, I think.
I see what you're saying. And yeah, that makes sense.
So since it's the last one that was being developed, it's also the last one that's going to be published. Yeah, because Quantum is making, or what? Yeah, they're making that, like, isn't that like a Telltale-esque?
Closer to like their classic style, where it's like Telltale but with more maneuverability. So literally Heavy Rain,
Detroit become robot
car, become boba. Yeah, like that, but Star Wars. And the trailer looked really cool, but you know, CGI trailers are getting a little long in the tooth. They had no gameplay, so still waiting on that. And apparently they've been having a lot of trouble in that studio, not least because of let's just say allegations. Like even if you took those out of it, apparently the game's just been going through the shitter.
What video game developer nowadays don't have allegations? Not that that's...
Well, hey, we're developing.
What video game developer that has more than 10 people? I see. I don't think you guys have enough people that have allegations.
You don't Wow, tell it. Holy shit, Rojo. Tell it to the people who are doing the allegations. Oh, sorry. Your company isn't big enough. Like, Jesus Christ.
No, what I'm saying is that you just wait. Like, you add 2 more people.
That's all going to go to... Yeah, it'll all go south.
Yeah.
Linton's going to have one line that is just so incredibly questionable and it just never gets brought up again.
You're like, oh my God, can you imagine? Like, why did they talk about Tiedemann Square so ad nauseum?
Why did Lenton know the fucking land velocity of all the tanks at Tiananmen Square? And why did he say them in sequence? And then why was that the only line of dialogue in the entire game?
Why did Lenton teach me how to make mustard gas in the 3rd level? That was such a weird Easter egg.
Why do the credits thank Live Leaks? Anyway, sorry, I'm spoiling too much. Sorry. Shh. Don't say anything.
Linton was also in the Discord server where they started leaking Pentagon files.
God.
Linton was the Pentagon leaker.
Bro, hey, listen, Rojo. we need concepts, all right? And some of those documents, let's just say they will show up in wild and zany ways you will have never predicted.
Yeah, the game map for the game is actually the Ukraine battle plans that were leaked. That wasn't a Ukraine battle plans. Those were leaked images of the game map. You heard it here first, folks. Live leaks.
And geez, digging ourselves a hole. All right, let me keep doing it. Then, like at the beginning of each chapter, the title card for the chapter comes up, and it always starts with hypothetically. Here's
allegedly.
You know what I mean? like in a hypothetical situation, but hypothetically.
Hypothetically.
Yeah. Hypothetically.
If this was Kiev, this would be right here where our platoon would be.
The mortar station would be over here, hypothetically. Anyway, you're a cute mushroom. You live in a fantasy forest that you're trying to save. Something. I'm actually a little concerned that we're going with it. Anyway,
so
thank you.
What's the progress like with this little mushroom? Like on the real?
On the real?
Yeah.
FR, no cap, on God. Let's see. Deadass. I'm thinking of dead. I don't know. So yeah, part of the reason why the podcast has been a little dry is we've actually been making some pretty good progress on the game. So Soy Boy and I specifically have been just kind of doing underlying engine stuff, mostly movement. We're trying to implement like movement tech is a term that's used to describe like
fighting games.
Yeah, and fighting games. I wouldn't quite say movement tech, but that's kind of what we're calling it internally. It's just movement, like not only the actual movement code, but what it feels like. And some actions have button combos, but very, very few. Really just one, actually. Jumping down from a platform is you hold down on the joystick and then you hit jump. Yeah, so we've been working on movement. There are a couple other things that I worked on, like rigging 2D assets to animate them using, I think Unity calls them bones. So I was making little skeletons, I guess. Yeah, it's coming together. We're still, we exist entirely inside of a gray box level with placeholder assets. But the underlying code and all that is, that is stuff that will carry over when we start making these levels legitimately. And so, yeah, I think we're making good progress with that. Again, considering, right, life.tm, right? We've been moving at a pretty steady clip. I've been trying to meet at least every Thursday. And just because I have a little bit more free time on my hands compared to Soy Boy or Chim, I try to work on it outside of every Thursday if I can. Yeah, that's where we're at. I don't know if we'll show anything. Because, I mean, it's kind of an integral part of our whole thing that we got going on here. I think once we have a little bit more of the systems in place, I'd be happy to screen cap something and just post it online as like a devlog or whatever.
Yeah, like just cool. A screenshot of a level in progress, or maybe even like concept art on your little mushroom guy.
Yeah, well, the concept art, we're a little touchy on that just because of how potent some of it is. Like it's all good, right?
Yeah.
Let's be real. We're fucking Naughty Dog levels of concept art in here. On some days. Some days. What am I thinking? I'm thinking like there's just a couple more movement things we really need to get down. Specifically, I'm having some trouble with some C# code that does the thing I just said, holding down joystick and hitting jump to let your character fall through a platform. I'm having a little bit of trouble implementing that, but I think if I can get that and then kind of brush up some other assets, that would make for a good first devlog. And on top of that too, I mean, because we're all very new to like making a game. We all have experience kind of like maybe messing around in engines. Shimik, of course, has a lot of experience, rigging stuff and doing like, kind of filmic stuff. But as far as like game design for interactive, game stuff, we're all pretty fresh. So I'm wondering, I think it makes sense paired with the podcast. I think if it were just those devlogs, it wouldn't really, you know what I mean? Like it's kind of nothing. It's not really a spoiler to say that the game is loosely inspired by Hollow Knight and Ori, both Ori games, as well as
No, just
Inside
one of the
and
Ori
Limbo,
games.
specifically one. Yeah. So if you want to know what it looks like, it's kind of a cross between the environments we're going for. At least we're going for the environments of Ori, but with like the character design of something like Hollow Knight.
Yeah, I can see that. From what I've seen, I can see that.
Yeah. So, but like I said, I think once we brush up a little bit of the movement, movement tech or whatever it's called, and then make sure it doesn't explode my computer, then yeah, and put up a devlog. That'd be cool. But that's progress on Lintanula right now. Yeah.
Yeah. Any other progress on any other projects you have?
Uh, you're asking about my EP?
Yes, I
It's
am
going
asking
well.
about your
I
AP.
just wrapped up composition. The sort of lowdown on that is when I was in college, I did classical guitar. I wrote some classical guitar pieces. The pieces are loosely Eastern European, Romani, a little bit of flamenco in there as well. Yeah, 6 pieces, classical guitar, just classical guitar. I might have some like textural stuff, but
How
it's really just guitar.
I have a question.
Yeah,
How influenced were you by Gustavo Santaolalla?
Gustavo
Yeah,
Santaolalla,
yeah.
110%. Very targeted question. Kind
Question
of a
I knew
shot in
the
the
answer.
dark, but
Yeah.
like once I'm done, I was just gonna send it to him. No, I mean like not him, like his agent or whatever, and just say, thank you for your music, yada yada. If he never responds, like I would expect that he never responds, right? But who knows?
Hey,
Just he's
you
very influential to me.
your Bandcamp page got eyes from Make Up the Vanity Set.
Makeup and Vanity set. Yeah, my I have my as far as like musical inspirations go, I have my inspiration for sort of kind of atmospheric film scoring stuff, which is Gustavo Santaolalla. I have my electronic influence, which is this guy called Makeup and Vanity Set. And then for like mixing and production, I have this influence called Floex. Thomas Dvorak, he's a Czech artist. I have like this trifecta of artists that I keep bouncing between. But yeah. What Rojo's saying is Makeup and Vanity Set apparently looked at my Bandcamp, which I can see. I can see when people visit my page, which is for someone like me who's like not even. I haven't put anything out yet. I've kind of just set up the websites and thrown up some kind of cannon fodder to just test out copyright, licensing, downloads, payment, that kind of thing. I thought that was surprising. Yeah. I think what it was is if you're on Bandcamp and you like, I don't know, you follow someone, right? No matter how big they are, as long as they're on Bandcamp, they will get a notification saying that you follow them. And if they're so inclined, they can, click on your profile and check out your page. So I think that's what that was. But still, yeah, I'm kind of downplaying it, but it's that's pretty cool.
It's pretty neat. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm sure he's
And then instantly he was met with a song with a
a
cartoon
song called
meatball in somebody's
yeah.
hand.
I actually changed it to the song is called "Holding a Nice Warm Potato on a Sunny Day" because I have a project outline for later, which is not going to be as in depth as the EP I'm working on now. It's literally just a collection of my cute songs that I've been working on and off, like lo-fi stuff.
Yeah,
but it would be potato themed because that's my on Discord. I'm Potato Nut. It's become like I LARP as a potato. All right, there I said it. There I said it. I said
confirmed.
it. He role plays as starch.
As a root.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man. So that's pretty much it. What about you, Rojo? You got projects?
Projects. I told you about this earlier, but the website I am currently in the middle of learning how to make for my photography, for my creative writing. I recently took some photos from. I went to the Luray Caverns out in the Shenandoahs, and I want to. They're very like atmospheric. I mean, it's literally a cave, so like maybe making that a backdrop into some sort of like multimedia piece. So like I guess it's multimedia is iffy because if it's all digital, is it really multimedia? But like I collage sort of collection that I'm thinking about?
Yes, I put together JPEGs
Yes,
and PNGs.
and PNGs, JPEGs, and NFTs. You need to find the NFT
Oh
inside
my
the
god.
JPEG in order to claim that NFT. But no, just making a website
Beautiful.
for myself. So in the middle of finding out how to make one. But the option's always there to like buy a domain off of like a Squarespace or something like that.
Yeah, actually, Squarespace is that's gonna be pretty like every other YouTuber has a Squarespace affiliate link, right? You get a
Yeah,
fat discount off of that if you went with Squarespace.
yeah. So it's always on the table, but I kind of want to push myself into learning how to make one, not necessarily from scratch, but like just the basics of HTML, uh, and just getting a skill that way too. Because
Yeah.
as you said, off air is like you're kind of forced to not forced. It's kind of hard to be a member in the society and not know some coding at least.
Yep. Pretty much. I just made a very arbitrary cutoff, like the Zoomers. So what is that? 1996 onward.
Yeah,
I looked it up. Apparently, it's that. I don't know. Correct me if you want. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. Zoomers, like you gotta, we gotta learn some kind of coding. Doesn't matter what it is. Web design, game development. I'm learning C sharp. Uh, it's you need it. It will just immediately make you more hireable. And if you're gonna do something like teach English to kindergartners, I could see that being a situation where you maybe don't need it, right? But for the majority of jobs, I mean, technology is absolutely kind of a main, it's a staple of everything, right? It's, something, technology bad, become a Luddite, whatever. Just pick a language, obviously pick a language with the intent of, using it, not just for the sake of learning the language,
yeah.
and then use it. And let your employers, future employers, current employers know that you can do it. And then on top of that, you might get a raise. And this is a pipe dream. Buy a house. That's not something we can do anymore.
Now you're just,
Own land?
now you're just
What?
spouting lies.
I hear there's a bunch of free land in Chernobyl. I'm just throwing that out there.
Shoot, I don't even know if it's free. I'm pretty sure you still have to pay for it, which is crazy.
Hold on a second. Can I purchase plot
Mr.
of
FBI
land?
man, I swear to God, I am not up to anything.
I promise I'm being bad. Can you buy land in Chernobyl? This means, for example, it's possible to have a solar panel land in Chernobyl producing electricity. Is that like if you're not living there?
Yeah.
Wait, you mean to tell me that the Stalker game series is fiction?
Oh my God.
No, there goes my fantasy becoming a stalker. Wait, that's not what I meant.
You remember like 20 minutes ago where I said video game developers inevitably have allegations? Well, yeah, you just made yourself one.
God damn it. Any speed run beginning of career to end of career any percent. Time 43 minutes. I win. Awesome careers done quick. Put Chris Avalon on that list. Allegedly.
Nothing in definitives here. Okay.
Yeah.
Are
we actually making a game? Who knows?
Who knows? There's definitely gonna be allegations that you guys are making a game, and along with other allegations like Jules wanting to his lifelong dream of being a stalker.
Why is what?
Why is what?
What you asked.
What did I ask?
Oh god, this is going so well. Moving on. Dead Island 2. Now I wanted to bring this game up specifically because as some of you might be aware, this game has been through development hell. I've been scouring the internet. Rojo, maybe you can help me with this. Just trying to find like the timeline for Dead Island 2's development cycle.
Yeah.
So originally, Dead Island 1 came out in 2011. It was developed by Techland Interactive, the same people who did Dying Light. I almost said the same people who did Dead Island. And published by Deep Silver. That's back in the day. And then I think their publisher THQ went under. No, Deep Silver is the publisher. At some point, I think Deep Silver's catalog got bought up by THQ. Anyway, whole point being a bunch of things like were liquidated and then rebought, and then plans fell apart, et cetera, et cetera. And Dead Island 2 was pretty much at the center of all of that for Techland and Deep Silver. Techland being the developer, Deep Silver being the publisher, I think. Yeah, so it's just been in purgatory, or I guess as Peppa Pig would say, pigatory.
Purgatory.
And it's coming out. It's actually coming out.
Yeah.
I think the last time before all the, this past month and a half, we've seen a bunch of promo material, but before this past month and a half, I think the last time we saw the game was, Rojo, you said it was like 2014.
Yes,
back when E3 was still a thing?
2014 E3 trailer was one of the first things that come up when you look up Dead Island 2.
Yeah.
And honestly, it has 28 million views on YouTube, on PlayStation Australia of all things, and the Dead Island 2 actual trailer on GameSpot has 1.3. So,
Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the new originally it was supposed to be Techland, and then they handed it off to Jaeger, who made Spec Ops: The Line and Dreadnought, if you ever played that. And then that got handed off to someone, I guess, and it finally ended up at Dambuster Studios, and they just completely restarted development on it. So what we're receiving is not like what happened with Duke Nukem Forever, where each developer got handed off, the ball, like the baton, right? This is like what we're getting with Dead Island 2 as it is, I guess when it comes out on the 21st. You could headcanonize it as development on this game started like 3 or 4 years ago, as opposed to 2011 or 12. Because Dambuster started from scratch. At least that's what I'm reading. I would not be surprised if things carried over, because it does kind of look the same. The game takes place in LA. That stayed.
Yeah, but
Craft of Weapons, that also stayed.
But if I'm not mistaken, Dambusters also made Homefront: The Revolution, which nobody kind of.
Ooh,
kind of high on that one.
Maybe a mid out of 10 game, but graphically, Homefront: The Revolution, very impressive. Was it 2017?
Yes. 2016.
That's 2016. That's a really good looking game for when it came out.
Well,
like as mediocre as it is, I think
it was
look at the screenshots.
I think it was a Crytek engine game.
Yeah, it was a CryEngine. Yeah,
right. Yeah.
Like, god damn, that's a really good looking game for 2016.
Yeah. Wait.
So, if you're vapid like I am, that's a plus. It's very, very mediocre game by all metrics. It's incredibly forgettable.
It's a game. Nobody can take that away from them.
That's the the Video Game Awards Game of the Year. Miyazaki steps up again for Armored Core. He says, like, truly, this is a game, and no one can take that away from me.
But yeah, for all those Dead Island or zombie game aficionados, Dead Island 2 comes out next week, April 21st, and Fallen Order comes out the 28th, and sometime in the next month, if we don't have a episode within that time frame, the new Legend of Zelda game also comes out next month, the 13th of May.
Yeah.
So get ready to explore the exact same map, and if your jewels get lost in the exact same locations.
Audience, I'm having trouble with a Nintendo game. I think it's too hard. I want to refund. No, I'm stuck on the volcano, man. I keep getting burned. I almost called him Twink. Link he keeps getting burnt to a freaking crisp, and I don't know how to stop that.
Keeps on getting burnt to a crisp. Nintendo, Miyazaki, please help.
Miyazaki, can you fireproof your Twinks, please? Thank you.
This is probably karma for you gatekeeping children's game from games. They made the child's game too hard.
I know what you're gonna say.
Speaking of that same developer who makes the children's game, Dreams is also shutting down support.
Why? Man, that really blows. Yeah, so especially for our new subscribers, I gatekeep Little Big Planet because I'm a loser. Let's just be upfront about that. It's my favorite game of all time. Little Big Planet 1 and 2 combined. Because if you're a artist like I am, you do not see the number, you just see the experience. No? I threw up a little, sorry. And Dreams was the developer's next project after Little Big Planet. The developer's Media Molecule, by the way. And they just didn't get enough traction. Dreams is kind of a do anything you want engine, so there's not really a game there to speak of. You make your own games. Kind of like Little Big Planet 1 and 2, but in addition to making games, you can sculpt, you can paint. There's a fully featured DAW in there, audio software, so you can just straight up make songs like completely unfettered. It's not handicapped at all. It's a little hard to interface with because you're using a controller, but in terms of feature set, it's just
the fucking cursor is like a teardrop.
Something, whatever they called an imp, and I'm about to get canceled. But no, like it's very much for me at least, it's like Pro Tools but on my PlayStation. And then for someone who sculpts, it'd be like, I don't what's a sculpting thing, like Maya, I don't know, like Maya but on my PlayStation. And then it's like Unity but on my PlayStation. It's like all these things in a way that's not as gimped as saying on console would have you believe. But it didn't get enough traction, so like Rojo said, it's shutting down. They're doing one final update and a server migration, and then they're moving on to, they said, their words, an IP that is not Dreams. And I'm hoping, you talk about karma, well, maybe the karma just like 182 times. Maybe they're working on Little Big Planet. Maybe. Wait, I'm only crossing all my fingers.
Their words were, we're not making Dream 2, and that's it.
No, they said we can't reveal what we're working on just yet. I'm paraphrasing at this point. We can't reveal what we're working on just yet, but it is not going to be Dreams 2 or within the Dreams intellectual property. That's what they have on their website. Yeah. So I'm thinking, yeah, maybe. Maybe. It's been so long.
Little Big Planet, is that owned by Sony or is that owned by Media Molecule?
Owned by Sony. Media Molecule is a Sony first-party dev.
Okay.
I don't know that they've ever existed outside of Sony.
I think they've only made Little Big Planet games and like the Tearaway series.
They did, yeah, Little Big Planet 1 and 2 and Tearaway. And then Sumo Digital did Little Big Planet 3 and Sackboy Big Adventure.
Yeah. So
yeah.
Maybe they're making Little Big Planet 4 and they're going to make your third favorite game. Oh, I can't wait. When they announce Little Big Planet 4 and it's made by Media Molecule. Like, no, you don't understand. 5-year-olds can't play this.
I'm gonna be in front of GameStop like a goalie, just like, you can't, no, you're fucking stupid idiot child can't buy this game. They don't understand.
The fucking menu music is an iambic pentameter. You don't get it. You're fucking. You have a mushy skull.
Son even know. Your brain isn't developed. You have mango brain. Oh my god. Yeah, I'm laughing now, but I when it comes out on I guarantee you, mark my words. Look, I have enough humility to say that I will absolutely say some stupid shit. Like, kids don't understand the sheer level of creativity that they can achieve in this engine. They don't get it. They just make fucking Sonic the Hedgehog bomb survival. If you ever play Little Bit Planet 1 and 2, one of the biggest, hottest levels in both 1 and 2, and there were multiple iterations of it, was bomb survival levels, where just a bunch of bombs would go off and you would get score by living as long as you could. That's all it was. And so you'd have these just ridiculously creative levels with like fully, like, assets. Like, people made assets. They didn't just use what Amelia Malcolm gave them. Like they took the stuff and they just made their own assets. And then they like did actual level design with like thought and like psychology and whatever. And then the thing that that topped the charts like every single week was Bomb Survival, Sonic the Hedgehog, fanfic, spooky, scary survival. And then like the occasional like rage comic or whatever, because it was, 2011. I expect the same thing to happen again. Yeah.
Well, I can't wait. I can't wait for you to get Little Big Planet 4.
I don't care. I don't mind. No, it's fine.
Well, on that note, anything else newsworthy?
No, not really. I just want to, I do want to reiterate, maybe with just a little bit more clarity, because God, it's just been so long since we fucking recorded anything. So the idea is, for I Can't Believe This Is a Podcast, we're gonna shoot for at least once a month, maybe starting May, and we'll keep doing that until we are able to guarantee that people will be available to do biweekly again. And my estimate, my guess, is that will happen sometime around the summer. So TLDR, one episode a month between now and like June, July. And then we'll resume the bi-monthly upload. And in addition to that, links to our own separate projects like She Makes Video, my EP. And I'll look into putting up kind of devlog stuff. Yeah, that's where we're at right now. I would say welcome back, but it was just two of us here. Sorry.
Welcome back. We'll welcome back the others once they get here. But
yeah, it's a welcome back and just steps, incrementally welcoming people back. And of course, new subscribers. This is I Can't Believe This Is a Podcast. Welcome for the first time.
Well, this is
good to have you with us.
This is like a 50% of I Can't Believe This. I Can't Believe This is only 50% of the podcast.
Yeah, I can't believe we're just numbers now. Maybe we should change all of our names to like tallies of most consecutively available to do the podcast. Not to brag, but mine would probably go off the screen. I'm just saying.
So you were definitely the kid who bragged about his attendance record. Heard.
Yeah, and they got beaten up after school for it.
And then grew up to beat up kids when they were in line for Little Big Planet 2. Like, no, you don't understand.
Sackboy's an allegory for mankind. He keeps the stuffing inside of him. All right. This has been I Can't Believe This Is a Podcast. Rojo, it's been a pleasure.
Likewise.
And audience, we will see you next time.
All right. See ya.